Greetings to you all, students. I welcome you all to the next lesson, excretion. Animals of lower organism maintains intracellular ionic composition. Example, sponges. Animals of tissues, organ system, grades of organization have formed extracellular fluid and they maintain their composition. You know what is intracellular and extracellular? Intracellular, inside the fluid inside the cell. Extracellular, it is outside the cell, in between the cell. Okay, outside the cell they maintain their composition. This leads to the diversification of animals to inhabit brackish water, fresh water, marine water and land. Land living animals, due to the risk of desiccation means getting dried, have developed excretory organs like kidney, gills, skin and digestive mucosa. Homeostatic process, because of this one only we are being good, that is called homeostatic process. It is brought out by osmotic regulation, ionic regulation and excretion. What is osmotic regulation? It is the control of tissue osmotic pressure which acts as a driving force for the movement of water across biological membranes. Ionic regulation is the control of ionic composition of body fluid. Okay, excretion, the process by which the body get rid of the nitrogenous waste product of protein metabolism is called excretion. Freshwater vertebrates maintain higher salt concentration in their fluid because they are in salt-free environment. Marine vertebrates maintain low salt concentration in their fluid as they are in high concentration of salt. Terrestrial animals have more water in their body than the surrounding to avoid loss of water. Osmoconformers are the animals that can change their internal osmotic concentration with a change in the environment. Okay, they change their internal osmotic concentration as per the environment. Osmoregulators maintain their internal osmotic concentration irrespective of their environment. They maintain constant. Okay, and there are two types, stenohaline and euryhaline. Stenohaline animals can tolerate only narrow fluctuations in the salt concentration, that is example goldfish. Euryhaline animals can tolerate wide fluctuation in the salt concentration in the environment, example Artemia and salmon fish. Classification based on excretory products. Ammonia, urea and uric acid are the excretory products. And ammonia, which is highly toxic, readily soluble in water, require large quantity of water to get removed. And these animals, the animals which excrete ammonia as waste product are called ammonotelic animals. Fishes, aquatic amphibians, aquatic insects, earthworm in water. Urea can be stored longer, less toxic than ammonia, and the animals which excrete urea are called ureotelic animal. Example, mammals, terrestrial amphibians, earthworms in soil. Uric acid, least toxic, require least water to get removed, and these animals are called uricotelic animals. Example, reptiles, birds, land snails and insects. We are ureotelic. Uretelic animals. Okay, we are used to excrete urea. Now the excretory structures. In vertebrates, kidney. Example, frog. Crustaceans, green glands or antennal gland. Example, prawn. Make a note of it. It's very important. One words. Okay, these are. The one question will come from this. Insects, the excretory structure is Malpighian tubule. Example, housefly. Annelids, Metanephridia. Example, earthworm. Nematodes, rennet cells. Example, Ascaris. Platyhelminthes, flame cells, or they are called as, they belongs to Protonephridia class. And example, tapeworm. Now we are going to see human excretory system. The excretory system of human consists of a pair of kidney. See, two pair of kidney, a pair of kidney, that is two, and pair of ureter, urinary bladder and urethra. Location of the kidney. The kidneys are reddish brown and bean shaped structure. They lie in the superior lumbar region, that is hip region, between the levels of last thoracic and third lumbar vertebrae. 5 lumbar vertebrae, adala third. Okay. They live in the dorsal wall of abdominal. They lie in the dorsal wall of the abdominal cavity. Right kidney is slightly lower than the left one because of the presence of liver. Then LS of kidney. Kidney is covered by 3 layers of supportive tissue, namely renal fascia, perirenal and fat capsule. Perirenal fat capsule and fibrous capsule. It shows the outer cortex and inner medulla and pelvis. Cortex region, see, it is light pink color. Medulla, brown color, it is showed with brown color, and pelvis, deep brown color. Okay, and the medulla is divided into few conical tissue masses called renal pyramid or medullary pyramid. The part of the cortex that extends between renal pyramids are called renal columns of Bertini. The center of the concave surface of kidney is called hilum, that hollow region, through which renal artery, renal vein, ureter and nerves innervate. Okay, artery, vein, like that. Inner to hilum is wide funnel shaped space called renal pelvis with the projection called calyces. Nephron. Each kidney has about 1 million of structural and functional unit of kidney called nephrons. Nephron structure, see, glomerulus, high pressure capillary bed, the site for bed filtration, a small mesh-like structure. Bowman's capsule, a bowl-like structure, funnel-like structure, beginning of the nephron. Glomerulus and Bowman's capsule constitute Malpighian tubule. Okay. Then each nephron has its own independent blood supply. Renal arterioles and veins, blue color and in red color, blood structure, vessels. Histology of renal capsules. Renal corpuscles. The endothelium of glomerulus has many pores called fenestrae. The external layer of Bowman's capsule is made up of simple squamous epithelium. The visceral layer is made up of epithelial cells called podocytes. The podocytes end in foot process, which cling to the basement membrane of glomerulus. The opening between foot process are called filtration cells. See. Types of nephron. In the renal tubule, proximal convoluted tubule, that is PCT, distal convoluted tubule, that is DCT, are located in the cortex of the kidney, and the loop of Henle is in the medullary region. The majority of nephrons of the loop of Henle is too short and extends only very little into the medulla, are called cortical nephrons. Some nephrons have very long loop of Henle that run deep into the medulla and are called juxtamedullary nephrons, in short JMN. CN means cortical nephron. Okay. C, renal cortex and renal medulla. If it is lie within that cortical region, they are cortical nephrons. If they lie deep into the medulla region, they are called juxtamedullary nephrons. The capillary bed of nephrons. The glomerular capillary bed is supplied by afferent arteriole and drained by the efferent arteriole. The efferent arteriole that comes out of the glomerulus forms a fine capillary network around the renal tubule called peritubular capillaries. The efferent arteriole, afferent bring, efferent takes. Okay. The efferent arteriole serving the juxtamedullary nephron forms bundle of long straight vessels called vasa recta that runs parallel to the loop of Henle. The vasa recta is not seen in the cortical nephron. Urine flow. From the glomerular capsule, the urine passes to the proximal convoluted tubule, then nephron loop, Henle's loop, then distal convoluted tubule, then collecting duct, then renal papillae, from that to minor calyx, then major calyx, then to renal pelvis, ureter, urinary bladder, urethra, and opens outside. Ornithine cycle. The nitrogenous waste formed as a result of breakdown of amino acid is converted into urea in liver by ornithine cycle or urea cycle. It is found by ornithine. So it is called as ornithine cycle. Okay, it's a very important question, ornithine cycle. Mechanism of urine formation. First step, glomerular filtration. Blood that enters into glomerulus get filtered to and from glomerular form the glomerular filtrate. Glomerulus which enters into the glomerulus and come out, that is called glomerular filtrate. The glomerular membrane has large surface area and is more permeable to water and small molecules present in the blood plasma. The glomerular filtrate is similar to blood plasma, that's there are no plasma protein. The filtrate which come out from the glomerulus is called glomerular filtrate. It is similar to plasma and has no protein, plasma protein. The composition of GF, that is glomerular filtrate, is water, glucose, amino acids, and nitrogenous waste. The GFR, that is glomerular filtration rate, is the volume of filtrate formed in 1 minute in all nephrons of both kidneys. It is about 120 to 125 ml per minute, 180 liter per day. The glomerular hydrostatic pressure is 55 mmHg. is the chief force which pushes water and solute out of the blood and across the filtration membrane that loops, okay, membrane, outer membrane. This high blood pressure in glomerulus is due to the fact that the size of efferent arteriole is narrower than the afferent. Efferent bring, afferent takes. This pressure is opposed by colloidal osmotic pressure, that is 30 mmHg, and the capsular hydrostatic pressure is 50 mmHg. Okay, it is standard. The net filtrating forces 55 minus 30 plus 15, that is 45. So 55 minus 45 is equal to 10 mmHg. Not only that, some substances are again reabsorbed. Absorbed means again here it is reabsorbed. The volume of glomerulus filtrate formed in a day is 170 to 180 ml liter, 180 liter, and the urine released is 1.5 liter per day, 1 liter. 99% is reabsorbed. Okay. The renal tubules, essential substances present in glomerular filtrate such as water, glucose, and other substance needed by our body are reabsorbed by selective transport. Proximal convoluted tubule in Henle's tube, first one is before Henle's loop, the convoluted tubule is called proximal convoluted tubule, and in proximal convoluted tubule, glucose, lactate, amino acids, sodium ion and water and small amount of urea and uric acid in the filtrate is reabsorbed. Sodium is reabsorbed by active transport by sodium potassium pump. Then the descending limb in Henle's loop is permeable to water. It allows water due to the presence of aquaporins, but it is impermeable to water. Ions, not water, ions. So sodium ion and chloride ion get concentrated in the filtrate because they are not impermeable. Ascending limb of Henle's loop is impermeable to, just a reverse one, is impermeable to water but permeable to solutes such as sodium ions, chloride ions and potassium ions. The distal convoluted tubule recovers water and secrete potassium ion into the tubules. Reabsorption of bicarbonate takes place to maintain blood pH. Most of the reabsorption from this point depends upon body need and regulated by hormones. Collecting duct is again permeable to water, secrete potassium ion and reabsorb sodium to produce concentrated urine. It is not excreted as such, but something is added, and that is called tubular secretion. Okay, see, tubular secretion, substance such as hydrogen, potassium, ammonia, creatine and organic acids move into the filtrate from the peritubular capillaries. The excreted urine contain both filtered and secreted substance. For every hydrogen ions secreted into the tubular filtrate, sodium is absorbed by tubular cells. Hydrogen ion, bicarbonate by HPO3, ammonia gives H2CO4 plus H2PO4 plus ammonia. Since hydrogen ion gets fixed in the fluid, reabsorption of hydrogen ion is prevented. Counter current mechanism and formation of concentrated urine. Counter current mechanism is the main adaptation for water conservation in mammals. The flow of filtrate in the two limbs of Henle's loop is in opposite direction. In first it is downward, it moves downwards. The next it is upward. Okay, so they move in opposite direction. The blood flow in vasa recta, which is also in opposite direction. The arrangement is essential for counter current mechanism. Favorable conditions: thin walled descending limb of lower Henle is permeable to water and impermeable to salt. The thick walled ascending limb of Henle's loop is permeable to water and impermeable to water and permeable to salt. You have to keep this point in the mind and you have to learn. Then only you can understand. Thin walled descending limb and it is permeable to water, impermeable to salt, and the ascending limb is thick walled and impermeable to water and permeable to salt. Only this one. Okay, then this arrangement help in maintaining and increasing osmomolarity towards the inner medullary interstitium from 300 molar osmomolarity in the cortex to about 1200 molarity m of osmomolarity in the medulla. Water molecules are reabsorbed from the descending limb. Sodium and chloride molecules pumped out of ascending limb by active transport, permeable to water and impermeable to ions. So, these solutes are exchanged with the descending part of vasa recta. Sodium chloride is returned to the interstitium outside the tissues by the ascending part of vasa recta. Similarly, a small amount of urea enters the ascending limb of Henle, which is transported back to the interstitium by the collecting tubule. This counter current mechanism helps to maintain concentration gradient, that is 300 molar osmomolarity in the cortex to about 1200 molar osmomolarity in the medulla in the medullary interstitium. Presence of such interstitial gradient helps in easy passage of water from the collecting duct, results in the formation of concentrated urine. Okay, this diagram shows that. Okay, this is the Henle's loop. This is the nephron and this U-shaped is Henle's loop, and here the counter current is explained with that light pink color. It is permeable to water and impermeable to salt, which is done by active transport. Just the reverse process occur in the ascending loop. Okay, we can see the rest in the next class. Thank you.